Joining the show, this man just led the Augustana Vikings on a 19-point fourth quarter comeback, keep the perfect season alive, key to the city rivalry game. Incredible debut under center, quarterback Rich Lucero Jr. What's going on, brother? Excited to get
Hey,
you on here.
what's up? Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited for this opportunity.
Was pumped to talk about this game on the show on Saturday. Little did I know it'd turn out to be a fantastic one. Very much in part to you, man. What a way to introduce yourself to the NSIC and D2 football as a whole, man.
Yeah, it was great. A great opportunity provided for me by my coaches, and I just want to thank my coaches and teammates for believing in me to um, step in that role. And all I had to do was do my job with the line that we have and the guys I have around me. It really I don't have to be Superman. All I have to do is do my job, and that's really the beauty of it.
Yeah, and you know what? That might have been your first start under center for Augie, but you sound like a veteran, a seasoned quarterback, media trained and all. All the quarterbacks say that. They deflect, they give to the guys.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go on a limb and say that they would all say thank you for coming out and balling in your first start and picking those guys up and helping them to a win. And obviously, it goes both ways. Was that on your bingo card to start the true freshman season about halfway through the year here?
Um, it's always my goal to be ready whenever my number is called. And
Sure.
so even though I haven't been playing, and my actually plan was to redshirt this season, um,
Okay.
but yeah, even though I haven't been playing, I still staying ready, staying in the playbook, and you know, just want to make sure that if my team ever would need me and my coaches called my number, that I'd be able to come through. So um, yeah, that was the biggest thing was just staying ready. We never know what can happen. It's obviously a very physical sport,
Sure.
and that's about it really.
Yeah, man. 100%. How much of a heads up did you get that you would be getting the start on Saturday?
Um, it was kind of just like a feel thing. Kind of go see how the week went for practice, and I would say a few days, a couple
Okay.
days in advance for like the for sure nod, but really it was I got to show my coaches and my team that I could operate and that type of stuff in practice. So
Yeah, and you got a guy in front of you in Gunner or Hensley that, of course, you got to talk about, one of the best in the conference. What were you able to learn from him in those first 5 weeks, and how has he still been? It's not like he just vanished and rode off into the sunset. How has he still been a part of your development process now, maybe in a little bit of a different capacity, helping you to get acclimated here?
yeah, so I mean, ever since I got here, I moved up here in July, and just been got to work right away. And Gunner's always been there for me, and always helping me with, first off, honestly, just getting used to the college life. I'm a
Sure.
thousand miles from home, from Chandler, Arizona, and him helping me, transform my life in that aspect, and then showing me how to lead this team and be a quarterback for one of the top teams in the NSIC. Him leading by example, and me just watching him and taking all the notes I can, because obviously he's a great quarterback and a great leader on our team. And even though that he is injured now, he still shows up to the meetings and practices, and he's always he's in my ear, and I ask him for help all the time, and he's always willing to give me feedback. And yeah, for that I'm very, very thankful for.
Absolutely, man. You get to watch the blueprint in a way, right, unfold in those last couple of weeks, and now get to step in and try and pick this thing up. You get handed the keys, so to speak. It's like, don't go and crash this now. We got a good little thing going. We're on a nice little drive right now. That drive is 6-0, and it didn't look like it was a wire-to-wire victory. Of course, 14-3 at half. You go into the breakdown. What were those conversations like at half, and how'd you come out of that maybe with a little bit of a new mindset?
Yeah, it was obviously I mean, for those that don't know, it was a very windy game. It was 40 mile
Yeah,
per hour winds, constant the whole game. So we knew that every possession that we had to take advantage of, and we didn't have very many in the first half. I think we had like 24 plays in total as an offense. So the second half, what our mindset was, just kind of slow it down a little bit, and really just not look so far ahead in the grand aspect of the game, and just, hey, let's get a couple first downs, and hey, let's get a score on this drive. And really focus on, one drive at a time and not getting too far ahead of ourselves. So that was kind of the main thing that we focused on, and it did help us.
And you had to go out there and help yourself. Of course, at some point, you get a chance to kind of one chance to really cap this game off and put you guys ahead. You're down 7. You help orchestrate a really big drive down the field. That's capped off with the touchdown to Huber. What was going through your head on that series, man? It kind of everything coming to a point, and all of a sudden, whether you like it or not, all eyes are on you, and you really have to shoulder the burden of being the dude under center. That's what comes with the position, of course. But talk to me about what's going through your head in that series.
Yeah, and that, we get in the huddle and just making sure that the huddle's like, hey, let's just, let's have fun. Let's go be great. Like telling the guys, like, these are the moments we live for here. And making sure that I can stay as calm as I can. So that way, when everyone in the huddle's looking at their quarterback, making sure that, oh, he's calm, he's poised. Like, I have nothing to worry about. We're going to win this game. And, so in those high pressure situations, I try to, make sure I do my best to make sure that they know that, like, we're good. Like, let's go have some fun. And kind of going in that last drive, we had to go fast, 2-minute drill. And the O-line did a great job that whole drive. It was great, and receivers made plays. So and then it worked out. We had fun, and that's really the main thing was just kind of, take a deep breath, settle down, and like, let's finish this game off strong.
You talk about giving those guys maybe a little bit of confidence and things that are as literal as your body posture, right? And the way you carry yourself in a drive like that, right? Not trying to be eccentric or, a million things a minute. Focus on one thing at a time. Go out there, enjoy yourself, have some composure. Things that are very easy to say, by the way, and very difficult to do for a lot of guys. Very much not the case for you, but flip that. How have the guys and the coaching staff really bought into you, and how have they helped to grow your confidence in the week leading up to Saturday, and then, of course, during the game on Saturday? How have they helped to prop you up? I know defensively, interception kind of on the goal line in the end zone, another big-time stop. Like, those guys definitely stepped up for you.
Oh, yeah.
But how has this team really propped you up and kind of endorsed you as the guy, man?
Yeah, I'd say, as soon as, I started getting some more reps and, word got around that I'd be starting that game, the older leaders on the team had reached out to me and just said that, hey, we got your back and we believe in you. And so that support from my teammates, especially the older ones and like the senior captains, that means a lot to me and gives me confidence. And, not only my players, but my coaches, being willing to give me the opportunity to, make my first college start in one of the most important games of our season.
Man.
The key to the city. So that gives me all the confidence in the world, because, for them to trust me in an important game like this, it's all that needs to be said. So going into the game, our team and the culture we do not back down and we do not turn on each other. And we keep our faith throughout the game, throughout all the ups and downs, and it shows week in and week out. So that helps. That does help me stay calm too, knowing that our defense has got our back. When we need to stop, our defense is going to come through. And you know what? Since they came through, that means, we are going to come through for them too. So, that's what I would say, for them having my back and giving me confidence. And make sure
saw the posts from the football account on Twitter, and the key to the city kind of tucked away there in bed. Did you tuck it right back in on Saturday night? We're right back to where it belonged.
Yeah, I know. I'm not too sure who runs that account, but I like
that was gold.
Yeah, I like seeing those posts and stuff. And
that was solid.
One of our editors makes like a victory big heads too, so that's
That's
one of my.
That was out on that was out on the D1 Rejects page for sure. Yeah. I love those. Those edits are great.
Those are really, really fun to see after games.
It's becoming a weekly tradition at this point.
Yeah, well, hopefully we keep it going.
Yeah, exactly. How about the decision to go for 2? Right? Was that always the thought from the staff and the guys?
Well, to be honest, I'm not too sure. All I was doing was just trying to make sure we at least get in the end zone and give us a chance.
Correct. Yeah, you got to get the touchdown before you either decide to tie it or go for the win.
And then, as an offense or even as a team, we trust whatever decisions our coaches are going to make. So, as soon as they said, "Hey, we're going for 2," I'm like, "Let's do this." And,
Yeah.
we go for 2 and we have a great play design and we get it. And we have all the confidence in the world in our defense to make that stop. There was like a minute 20 left on the clock.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, basically we trust our coaches for whatever decisions they think are going to be best for us in the game. And they do a great job of managing the game too with timeouts and all that stuff too. So, yeah.
Amen. You've gone back, you've watched the tape. What excites you about what you see from yourself on Saturday, and what are you excited about improving on heading into this week versus CSP?
Yeah, I would say what excites myself about how I can build off of last game is that I'm just thankful we got the win, no matter how it ended up. That's the most important part. But having the success that we were able to have, there's also a lot of things that we can continue to work on and get better. And there's a lot of things that I need to continue to get better at, and a lot of mistakes that I have made. So that's what excites me. Is yes, we had good amount of success, but there's still so much more to build off of. And this week all we're focused on is going 1-0. CSP is a very athletic team and a very dangerous team, and we will not take them lightly and not look far past them.
Spoken like a true quarterback, my friend. You're a freaking pro. You are a pro, dude. I love it.
That's me. That's just me.
I love it, brother. Thank you very much for your time tonight, man. That's all I got for you. Anything else from me?
All right. No. Thank you for having me, and looking forward to maybe getting on soon again.
Oh yeah. Let's check back in when these Vikings are rolling. We come into playoff type weather over there. This would be an exciting conversation, man. You guys are definitely in the right direction. Thank you very much for joining me, man. Have a good rest of your night.
Thanks, Kobe. You too.
Division II football treated us to an awesome slate of games this weekend. And, of course, fellas, we're going to start with our Player of the Week selections from across the Division II landscape. And it's tough every week. This week was no different, but we do got some pretty good picks for you. At the offensive pick for the Player of the Week, Cam Woods, the tight end from Northeastern State, the Riverhawks, took on West Florida. And honestly, boys, give them all they could handle. They did not come away with the win. Argonauts took that one. But Cam Woods got his. 7 catches, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns for the tight end down there. Tim, how many fantasy points did you say that was worth?
That's, I think, if my math was correct, about 45 to 47 in that range, which is ridiculous from the tight end spot. You're winning that week for sure. Shout out to Tights. Love this pick.
Yeah, that's stupid production there, and you keep going into the defensive spot. Desmond Green, the DB from Lenore-Rhine, a Bears and Blazers game. They play Valdosta State that at the beginning of the year, that would have been the top 10 matchup that we were talking about. Maybe not one we'll talk about later on, but instead we got two teams that are kind of playing for their lives in 2025. Desmond Green stepped up to the task. 2 interceptions on the day, 7 tackles. One of those takeaways through the air would kind of end up being the game sealer for the Bears. And then in the special teams spot, how about Braden Biller? 10 punts, 46.1, and the average department. He booted one of them for 76 yards, boys, and shout out to the Grizz. One thing they do a lot of over there is unfortunately punt.
I was just about to say, one of those stat sheet stuffers where the coaches aren't too happy about it.
Yeah, great individual performance, but if you're Adam State, you're like, I really hope our guy does not punt 10 times every game.
Caleb Williams must have told him that he was never going to punt before, so he had to punt all the time.
45 to 2.
That is aged like a milk.
45 to 2 was the final score of that game. That's an odd score.
That is a great point. That's got to be some kind of scoregami or something. We need that.
Yeah.
But let's talk about some of the big-time games in terms of the national slate this week, fellas. Sioux Falls is Vikings territory. Augustana, they win the key to the city game 29-28 in a game that really lived up to all expectations, but not necessarily in the way that we imagined. And our guest on this show, boys, was the quarterback for the Vikings in Rich Lucero Jr., a guy that stepped up. He thought he was going to redshirt in 2025, and he hadn't really seen the field in his freshman season, which is not really surprising when you're behind a really a star quarterback in Gunnar Hensley, who got hurt in the fourth quarter of last week's game. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the conference, leading this Augustana team to a lot of victories in his time there in Sioux Falls. But Lucero, he gets the call. His first collegiate start, fellas. He leads 3 scoring drives in the fourth quarter. One of them 99 yards down the field, throws 2 touchdowns, guiding the Vikings to a big-time win. 18-point comeback, 29-28 W for this Augustana team. And that for me is really the story of the game, boys, is that you have a guy like this that steps up when his name is called. And I'll pull a couple of the highlights here just to kind of illustrate the order of events of some of how it went down, guys. And the wind was certainly a big time factor in this one, but you know when the wind doesn't matter? When the rushing attack is doing very well. Augustana certainly had their fair share of explosive plays. You see it right here. We talked about losing Jared Epperson out of that backfield, what that would mean for this Vikings talented offense. Here he is, Lucero under center. Not perfect throughout the course of the day, but threading dots like this one to make big-time plays when they needed it most to pick up the win over USF. Another one right here dropping into the bucket for the score. That would be enough for Augie to roll away with this one, boys. Statement win with the freshman quarterback at center. A little trickery, I believe, in the 2-point conversion to officially put this one away.
Yeah, Kobe, we talked about rivalries all the time when it comes to like GV and Ferris, those teams in the PSAC, right? Like, I don't know if anybody's closer than 0.3 miles apart as far as a rivalry is concerned. And then to have a freshman, come out and play the way he did, a 99-yard scoring drive, 18-point comeback in your first career start. Talk about hitting a high note immediately. Not saying it's all downhill from here, but like you start your career off very, very high. It's one of those things to where not only are you setting like the benchmark, but you're just like, okay, if I can do this, and this is just my first start, how much better can I be? You know what I'm trying to say? So good for Lucero Jr. And that's awesome for the Vikings to get that win. And especially like, we've kind of looked at those teams when it came to the Minnesota conference, right? And as far as like who is going to be the next best like team, like we kind of thought Bemidji might have been solid this year, and they kind of started to fall off in the beginning. So this is a really good win for them.
Yeah, Augustana certainly has been around. They've been one of the teams at the forefront of the conversation in the Northern Sun. They're one of only 2 teams left undefeated inside of the NSIC with Duluth, which those 2 teams don't even play each other. You got to remember, there's so many teams in the freaking conference. We don't get matchups with all of those teams. We had talked about how a guy like Marcus Hansen wouldn't play his former squad Bemidji because Mankato and Bemidji don't play each other in 2025. So weird matchups there, but you mentioned it. 0.3 miles apart. It's a 1-minute drive. I'm not exaggerating. It's not hyperbole when I say I've never heard of a rivalry that close in proximity. The Battle of the Ravine, like that one with Henderson State and Ouachita Baptist, certainly one that is very close proximity. It said that someone could hit like a driver from one school to the other. But I literally pulled up the map, boys. I literally had to go grab the map and just to get a visual sense. This is not like the best view of it ever that I just got pulled up on like Google Maps or whatever, but it's literally across the street. It's like 3 blocks. It's like 3 blocks away from each other. These 2 schools are in such close proximity, man. I can't believe it. I can't wrap my head around it.
And, you got to feel good for the program, knowing that you have a freshman with this much maturity. I mean, this guy came back from 19 points down to win a game as a freshman. I couldn't imagine just stepping into a game as a freshman with that much responsibility,
right?
That many guys looking after me to lead this comeback in this type of game. So that's got to feel good. That's got to be a program win, if anything, for this team.
Very true. And let me tell you guys something in the interview. He's a pro when it comes to like the media training as well. Like, dude sounded like a seasoned vet, like talking over the questions. He's so quick to like deflect to all of his other guys and not take any of the credit and talk about how they still got to improve. He hit all the notes of your like typical quarterback coming off of a win. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But as a freshman, that's not a given. Like, he could have come on here and been like super jacked and pumped up and talked, said basically whatever because he kind of earned that right. But hearing from his head coach, Jerry Olszewski, he said, quote, "I thought he gave us the best opportunity to win this game. I wasn't anticipating being a 30-mile-per-hour win for the kid to go through, but he just has a very calm demeanor. And that is kind of the tale of it, man. Overcome, adapt and overcome, especially in some kind of ridiculous environment like that. The fact that we're even throwing the ball at all when we've got 30 mile per hour gusts is wild.
Credit to the teammates as well, right? Like we talked about it, it's a program win. Like them having we've all been in those situations where it's like maybe a young guy that you're not like, who is he going to be able to do it? It was like, no, we're going to rally behind this guy. And, it starts off with the coach being like, he gave us the best opportunity to win. So if your coaches are saying that, and then you got the guys in the team believing that, like we've all seen quarterbacks when their team doesn't believe in them, the team starts to crumble, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So when you have an opportunity like this for a freshman to go out there and come 18, like I'm sure there were some doubts, right? You're down 18
undoubtedly,
point comeback, but at the end of the day, it's all about staying together as a team, and credit to the Vikings for that.
Yeah, and that's what he had said in the interview, and kind of talked on that point. Because to your point, you got to make a decision if you're that group, and you can buy into him right away, which it sounds like this Viking squad did. He said those upperclassmen had reached out to him and immediately, kind of as this was happening, in terms of he knew a little bit, a couple days in advance, that he was going to be getting this start, and these guys really rallied around him and kind of supported him and endorsed him and propped him up. A lot of times that could go the other way, and you could have guys that maybe we've probably seen it in terms of you're not going to outwardly say, I want you to fail or something like that. But you could have guys that secretly, if you aren't their guy, so to speak, or they like another guy and kind of favor another quarterback in that room, that could be silently preying on that downfall for you to go out there and maybe throw an interception or fumble the play or whatever. But certainly does not seem to be the case down there. But